you want to see an end to the Iraq War, if you want to see real change, then you got to have the courage that Rosa Clemente has, that Cynthia McKinney has. You've got to help to create an alternative political party. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers in the Green Party, America, Cynthia McKinney!
Job of introducing my mother and father, and I would just like to announce to you that they are the newest members of the Green Party. However, they were preceded by my son, who was the first McKinney to join the Green Party. I want you to know that there is no way I could do this without the support of Billy Leola and Coy. The Power to the People committee members who are with us today, I would like to acknowledge them. You've all shared emails with her and heard her lovely voice on the telephone, Lucy Grider Bradley, the campaign manager of my 2004 Comeback campaign and the FEC compliance team leader for the Power to the People committee. I've known him all of my political life. You've known him for years if you're a Green Party member. Hugh Esco, website man with the Power to the People committee. In 2 long road trips from Georgia to Maine, 1 trip through California, Oregon, and Washington, and by way of numerous emails, you all have come to know my personal friend and assistant, proud Haitian-American activist, et aussi l'homme avec qui je pratique mon français, David Josué, standing firm against the occupation of Haiti. John Judge is my friend. He shared U.S. government COINTELPRO documents with me that few, except researchers, have ever seen. John Judge is an expert on the murders of Malcolm X, John Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., Bobby Kennedy, COINTELPRO, and other government covert operations directed at certain U.S. citizens, and also what really happened on September 11th. Janet Young, proud accountant for the Power to the People committee, learned the true meaning of politics when she saw what happened to me after I put impeachment on the table. I'm also joined on the platform by members of the Reconstruction movement who have come into our Green Party to support our Power to the People campaign. The Reconstruction movement came into being as a result of dissatisfaction around government failures and unmet needs of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita survivors and the many communities across our country in need of reconstruction. The Run, Cynthia, Run visionaries from California who are responsible for bringing me to the party's presidential process. All of the Green Party candidates who were running for election in 2008, and Rosa Clemente, your vice presidential nominee. Thank you all for being here and standing with me today. And if there's some people who need to sit, in 1851, in Akron, Ohio, a former slave woman, abolitionist and women's rights activist by the name of Sojourner Truth, gave a speech now known as Ain't I a Woman. Sojourner Truth began her remarks, well, children, where there's so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. She then went on to say that even though she was a woman, no one had ever helped her out of carriages or lifted her over ditches or given her a seat of honor in any place. Instead, she acknowledged that as a former slave and as a black woman, she had had to bear the lash as well as any man, and that she had borne 13 children and seen most all sold off to slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me. Ain't I a woman? Finally, Sojourner Truth says, if the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down all alone, these women together ought to be able to turn it back and get it right side up again. As it was in 1851, so too it is in 2008. There's so much racket that we too know something is out of kilter. In 1851, the racket was about a woman's right to vote. In 1848, just a few years before Sojourner uttered those now famous words, ain't I a woman, suffragists met in Seneca Falls, New York, and issued a declaration. That declaration began, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of those who suffer from it to refuse allegiance to it and to insist upon the institution of a new government. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of the women under this government, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to demand the equal station to which they are entitled. 260 women and 40 men gathered in Seneca Falls, New York, declared their independence from the politics of their present and embarked upon a struggle to create a politics for the future. That bold move by a handful of people in one relatively small room laid the groundwork and is the precedent for what we do today. The Seneca Falls Declaration represented a clean break from the past, freedom at last from mental slavery. The Seneca Falls Declaration and the Akron, Ohio meeting inaugurated 72 years of struggle that ended with the passage of the 19th Amendment in August of 1920, granting women the right to vote. And 88 years later, with the Green Party as its conductor, the history train is rolling down the tracks. The Green Party is making history today. According to one source, 45 women have run for president in primary elections in the United States in the 20th century. 22 have made it on the ballot in at least one state in November. Thank you, Green Party, for pulling this history train from the station.